So speaking of anime and
good transition.
Yeah, thank you. We should talk a little bit about Ni no Kuni.
Yes.
Oh man, Ni no Kuni.
We should talk about Ni no Kuni.
We should talk about Ni no Kuni. I again, art style. I love the art style of the first one. This one is similarly beautiful in a similar way to Dragon Ball, actually.
Yeah.
So tell us what is different about Ni no Kuni 2?
Ni no Kuni 2, it is a different battle system. It's no longer quasi turn-based. It's more of a real-time battle system now. The characters are all different. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. If you played the first game, it would be beneficial when you play the second one. You don't have to have played the first game,
right.
But the story's different. It still takes place in the kingdom of Ding Dong Dell. Yeah, so characters are different, story's different, same type of style. As you look, some of the gameplay elements are different too. So
yeah. The first one was collecting, training up these creatures and then having them fight.
Yeah. This time you don't have that really. You don't have the familiars.
This time, is it? You said it's more of an active thing. Is it like you've got a sword and shield and you're going and slashing monsters yourself?
Not only do you have a sword and shield, the character has a gun now. For instance, he's got a sword and a gun.
So you're physically doing the fighting, not little creatures.
Right. So you're moving around. You're still selecting commands, but it's a lot more real time. It's not full on real time, but it's a lot more real time combat.
Gotcha.
Seeing how Ni no Kuni has matured over the years is insane because I played it on the DS when it first released in Japan. There were headlines about Studio Ghibli creating a game for the DS, and nobody thought it was ever going to be localized. To think that it would be localized and remade on the PlayStation 3, I'm so excited to see this one because it just looks like so much. The visuals are so much more crisp now.
Going back to what you said about the anime again, yeah, it's like you're playing a certain anime from a certain studio, if you will. It's really like it's ridiculous how good this game looks. There's a lot of games that are graphically intensive, but this one uses like this really cartoony art style, and it still looks amazing.
Right. So what's the? You mentioned it's in the same universe. What's the story pitch? It's the same universe, but a different, whole different character.
Whole different set of characters. You play as Evan, the king of Ding Dong Dell. I keep pronouncing that wrong. Ding Dong Dell. Such an awesome name. You play as Evan. He is a deposed king. There was a coup that happened, and he is kicked out of his kingdom. Now he has to reunite. He kind of has to build another kingdom, build his own kingdom, and he gets these characters along the way, like Roland, who is an older man in the real world and the president of his country. So then he goes into Ni no Kuni and has to help Evan build his kingdom, which he can definitely do since he was a president. But he's got his own story and stuff like that. Then you have Tani, who is the daughter of a sky pirate. She's just real wild girl. So you have all these opposing personalities that are working to help Evan.
Yeah, in the first one, it was whimsical and sweet in some ways, but it was also almost kind of bittersweet. I want to say it was about escapism and this kid who was going through some things
and dealing with heartbreak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So is this similar? Is this a similar tone?
Very similar tone. Very similar tone in music. Very similar tone in story. There is going to be some sadness. If you've watched any of the trailers, certain things happen, and the trailers do a really good job of blocking out too many spoilers. There are some bad things that happen to Evan.
Like 1 second after that trailer cut.
Yeah.
Something,
you're just
something bad happens.
This person's not going to make it.
So what's the release target for Ni no Kuni?
So actually we announced the release date.
An exact date.
Yeah. So it's November 10th on PlayStation 4.
Awesome.
And PC.
Awesome.
So that's coming out. But we will have other news. I know there's people asking me about certain editions of the game. We'll talk about that.
We'll tease it out.
Later time.
You might want to follow the Bandai Namco Twitter account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, follow us at Bandai Namco US.
I'm a little heartbroken that Oliver isn't coming back, but I mean, I do love the new cast of characters. Everyone seems like the game has so much life in it.
And both Dragon Ball and Ni no Kuni just so pretty.
It's an amazing time to be an anime fan. Just a fan of gaming in general. The style of these games is ridiculous.
This redefines 2.5D.
Yeah, it really does.
Dragon Ball, yeah, it does for sure.
So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me on. It was awesome.
Looking forward to Ni no Kuni
and
Ni no Kuni and the beta for Dragon Ball. We will be back in just a little bit with our post show. Thank you for watching.